So I thought I'd spend this video today kind of just showing you around the place what we do, how we do it. I don't know, it's just gonna be kind of a this or that video kind of thing. Maybe to answer some questions. Stick with it. You might find something that you find interesting in it. Other things you might think, well, I already know that. What do I need to know that for? But Carolyn puts the laundry up underneath the porch here. We know it's going to rain. It rains almost every day now in the springtime. So she hangs it up on the porch. It's supposed to sun up today around noon, so we'll fill the water. I'll show you how to do that. We'll fill the water tank with the well. If it doesn't sun up, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and fill it with the generator. And the reason I've decided that is because with the well pump sits for too long, 2 days basically, it starts to form a little bit of rust around it and it spits up some rust. So I figured I'd just run it every day, regardless if it's cloudy or not. I know now, I ran a test for an entire year, that no matter how empty the tank is, the well can fill the tank back up on solar panels on a sunny day. So I don't need to do that. It saves on cost to wait for a sunny day to fill it up, but like I said, it keeps it from getting rusty. Any chances of getting rust into the water, making it look bad, filters and all that stuff. And it doesn't cost that much to fill it up. Normally I gotta run the generator anyways on cloudy days, at least for a little while. So to go ahead and fill the tank with the generator just doesn't cost that much more, hardly anything. I mean, we're talking 25 cents to maybe 50 cents a day running the generator. It's just not that bad. I did want to mention my new pillowcase. I know this is going to sound silly, but you all know that I suffer from allergies really bad. And I've actually gotten some asthma over the years. And the meat diet has made it 1,000 times better. Last year I was still on Benadryl and I was still taking Primatene Mist, but the meat diet has pretty much reduced it a lot, let's put it that way. But at nighttime I was still getting congestion in my nose, and I was still needing the Primatene Mist. Only at night. Couldn't figure out what it was. Well, I watched a YouTube video and I found out what it was. The pillow they've done studies on a pillow. If you see those stains in a pillow, those yellowish stains, there's fungus in it. So every time you sweat or if you drool, the fungus activates and gets up in your nose. So if you're getting congestion in your nose, your sinus inflammations, that's what it is, most likely. That's what he said. So he said, go out and buy a new pillow. So I went out and bought a new pillow, instantly went away. I have no problems now. So I'm washing the pillowcase every time we do laundry now. I bought this specifically. It's mismatched from all the other stuff, but I bought it just so I can have it. And then I'm gonna wash the pillow about every month, and then once a year you're supposed to replace your pillow. So now I'm gonna make some coffee. We used to use this to cook on. We don't use it anymore. Carolyn cooks down in the camper now, or she cooks out here on the grill, either way. But with it being so rainy, she's cooking in the camper. So that just left this for coffee. It makes it pretty easy to come out here and make some coffee. Also, it doesn't matter what kind of mess I make out here on this thing. It really doesn't matter. It can spill over. But down in the camper, obviously, it would be a little bit more tragic. These burners, they do get clogged up. So I take a little pin and I clean out those burners every while, now and then. This one's about in need of some cleaning because it doesn't light very well, or it doesn't even stay lit. And that's because it boils over. And then this one, it's okay, it's doing pretty good so far. I have another one of these propane stoves. Haven't even taken it out of the box yet. Now to make coffee, we use a percolator. So got some water in there, 7 scoops. You buy these at Walmart. Well, that's not true. At Walmart they have an aluminum one, and it's okay. It doesn't hold a lot of coffee, and I don't know, just don't like it as much. It burns. If the coffee burns, you forget and leave it on the burner. It stains it and sticks to it worse than this. This is a porcelain one that I bought, or porcelain painted, I don't know what it is, that I bought on Amazon. And you can see that I always forget it on the burner. I try to set a timer, but that melted. But everybody should know how to use a Coleman camp stove. These aren't hard to use. You see how that only lit halfway? That's because those burners are dirty, those holes. So what I do is just turn it down a bit. See if you can get it to light all the way around. I did. And then we'll wait 20 minutes and that'll be all done. If you do much more than 20 minutes, this starts to really evaporate the coffee out of there. Now you can also use this on a fire, so we could actually cook it on a flame. I mean, it's a camping coffee pot is what it is. The Coleman camp stove hooks up to a propane tank. I know, oh my gosh, you're not off grid. You got propane, that's not off grid. But like I said, I don't have to do it this way. I can make a fire. Now you can hook this up to a 1-pounder, but it's much easier to keep these full. I get these filled for $12 a piece, which is absolutely incredible price. It's a military discount I get. I guess all military. They always ask, are you a veteran? Yeah, okay. So it'd be like $15 or $16 if I wasn't, and it's $12 if I am. So I guess I'm getting it at a cost. Okay, so the coffee's done. I thought I'd go ahead and show you how we keep it warm. Obviously, we don't have a burner that we can keep it on without wasting a bunch of propane. So I just take the lid. We put the lid inside of a empty coffee can. That way, if there's any moisture or anything, it drips in there. And then we have the basket. So I take the basket and we put it in another coffee can because it will drip for maybe an hour or so. And it takes about a week for that to fill up, but it does fill up pretty quick. Obviously, we have the 2 thermoses. We use this thermos up first because it doesn't insulate very well at all. As a matter of fact, you pick it up and burn it. It's not really a thermos. I don't know what it is. So we'll just fill the thermos up. And 1 pot fills both thermoses plus probably 1 cup. And that's how hard it is to make coffee around here. So as I was saying earlier, which was only a few seconds for you, then I don't know, 45 minutes or so for me, the clouds separated and here we are sunny. So I'm gonna start working on filling the IBC tank. So I'll come over here and to the IBC tank. And as you know, some of you may know, most of you may know, I have a 275 gallon IBC tank under here that holds our water. This is going to be interesting to do one-handed. I'll use my head. See how well that works. So I just use the styrofoam insulation to hold the lid up. Take the other one off here. Set it to the side. And we've used, yeah, probably 50 to 60 gallons. Like I said, Carolyn did laundry. Now, I only fill it up about half of that, and then I let it sit and wait. I shut off the well, and I let the well fill back up because I don't want to run the well dry. It's just a precaution. I probably wouldn't run the well dry. The well has a recovery rate of about 5 gallons a minute. And I throttle it down. I turn it way down so it doesn't use all the pump's capacity. The capacity of the pump's 13 gallons a minute. So I slow it way down. But just in case I don't have it right, I don't want to run the well out of water. So I keep the hose over here off the ground so when the rain comes, it doesn't get the hose dirty. I shove it underneath this pipe here, or underneath this cage. That way, when I turn it on, it doesn't flop out. Now I'm going to go check Carolyn's bucket. There's a bucket that I keep filled for her so she can do dishes or whatever she wants in the camper. I used to have a hose running out to the camper, but she said she didn't want that out there anymore after the winter time because it froze up. She couldn't use it, so she wanted to make adjustments so she didn't have to always be worrying about that hose freezing. Okay, so her water is full. The water usually lasts I don't know, she can make it last 5 days. What she does is she does let the dishes stack up. I know that's terrible. Why would you do that? But we're carnivores, so we don't have a lot of dishes. A couple plates a day, and that's about it. So she waits till we run out of dishes and then does dishes. That way it reduces the amount of water she has to use. She's only got to fill these tubs once per, set of dishes, instead of filling it up 2 or 3 times a day to do dishes. So it has rained so much I can't keep up with the grass, so I've decided I'm just going to let it go, and then when it finally stops raining where it's not just a big mud pit, I'll go ahead and cut it, but I'll have to go real slow with the lawnmower. That'll save gas too, even though I got to go slow. It's still faster. We'll use less gas than having to cut it 2 or 3 times. But I just can't keep up with it. I cut it, and within a few days it's back to full growth. So I'm down here in the electric shed. This is where all the components for the electric are. So I'm going to turn on this bottom inverter. That's a 2,000 watt inverter. This is a 1,000 watt inverter. The inverter takes battery electric, DC electric, and inverts it into AC electric. This top one, a 1,000 watt inverter, runs the house and the camper. I gotta make sure that stays clean. It overheated the other day, and I meant to come down here and clean off the vents. It overheats and it shuts off the electric for a second until it has time to cool back off. Well, I'll never get that back to wherever it was. I guess that's the way it was. So then I'll turn this one on. What I just knocked off there is the switch to the bottom inverter. It has a barrel switch, but I use that because I don't want to wear this one out. If this, whatever you want to call this, push button switch wears out, then it gives me double the life. This one, then I'll start using this one. And then I got a little power strip here, and I actually tripped the other day. It's the first time it ever tripped. I don't know what tripped it, but I guess that's a good thing. I mean, I don't want to burn up my motor or my inverter, so it tripped. It did its job. Came back down, turned it back on, and everything was fine. So I don't know what tripped it. I guess we did something wrong. So now I'm going to come up here. We'll turn the well on. And I always fill a bucket of water without filtration for the toilet, so we can flush the toilet. We use about 5 gallons a day for the toilet. Now, I also, since it's raining so much, I do a test with this bucket also. I fill it up about half full, and then I dump it out because in case the pump is rusty. I've explained the rust before. Not really worth talking about again. But then I can kind of flush that rust out of there. So I got a switch here. And you might be able to hear. That's the air coming out, because I got a little hole in the black pipe that lets that water drain back down so it never freezes. So it's got to travel 70 feet up before water comes out. Now, like I said, I can throttle the flow of water through this. You gotta be careful with that though. You don't want to shut it off, because then the pump is sitting there spinning and heating up and evaporating the water. It's called deadhead is what it's called. And you'll burn up the pump if you run that too long. I don't have a problem with this particular pump, the 13 gallon per minute pump, because that hole that I told you about lets enough water go through that it never deadheads. I never hear it go boom. But with that 30 gallon a minute, it deadhead all the time. It was just too big of a pump. I couldn't use it for this old well. So that's me flushing out the well pump. So now I'll fill this bucket up, and then I'll start filling the tank. Okay, so the bucket is full, so I'm going to switch it over to the hose. Shut that off. And then we can come over here and make sure that the hose is filling the IBC tank. So you should be able to see that it's filling. And I also need to fill a bucket for the chickens, so I need to remember to do that as well. All right, so the tank is about half of the level that I started with. So as you probably remember, the tank was down here, or the water level is down here, now it's up here. So I'm going to shut it off. That'll give the well a little bit chance to fill back up if it's dropped any. There's no reason to run the well out. Could cause damage to the pump, be like deadheading it. So the lizards are out, which means the snakes are out. I just saw a lizard. So I'm going to switch this back over, and then I can shut off the well pump. So if you click this up next box, it'll take you to that video I made yesterday. So if I can inspire you to have a routine in your day, to live your dreams. Thanks for watching.